As hockey fans go, more and more we've been looking as sports writers and sports fans at the past in the NHL playoff, lineage to determine why the 1970s and 80s were the best era for the postseason for the major leagues. Now, in my opinion, the most interesting series of the late 1970s may have been a sweep for Montreal, but when they played the Toronto Maple Leafs in the quarterfinals of the 1978-79 NHL playdowns, or the round of 8, there was a lot of machinations going on. Roger Neilson was almost getting pushed out the door. Toronto had some problems with their star players, with Harold Ballard. Some rookies like Rocky Sagnac were part of it. The great Mike Palmateer was turning into the leader they needed in between the pipes, but a severe injury in the playoffs hampered these Game 4 possibilities. You had to bring Paul Harrison, and Montreal in the series had a lot of players injured. Schutt, Tremblay, Napier, they were working and even called up Dan Newman. And a nondescript former WHA player who had a terrible season scored one of the biggest overtime goals in Montreal's history in Game 3 in Toronto. We'll get into that in a second. Now, Montreal played Toronto. Toronto got past Atlanta in the first round. Best of 7. He had played him in the semifinals the year before, and Toronto had a better team in 78. A lot of people felt after he bet the Islanders in the quarterfinals he had a good chance either to beat Montreal or extend it to 6 or 7 games. Unfortunately, that didn't work. Now, Toronto lost in 4 straight in that semifinal round, but in 79 they had a weaker team. Palmateer was showing a lot of wear and tear from all the pucks he saw in the season. Now, Toronto didn't do too much to Montreal the first 2 games, losing 5-1 and 5-2. Now, Game 3 was quite interesting. It was a battle from the start. Steve Schutt didn't play the full game in Game 3, and it went to double overtime. And of all people, Cam Connor, who was a draft pick of Montreal, who shifted from the WHA, who was a better player in WHA, rarely got a scoring chance in a regular season. And he scored against Palmateer in kind of a nonchalant fashion, and the Montreal fans erupted. Now, in Game 4, Montreal went ahead 4-0 pretty well by the halfway mark of the second period. A lot of people thought Toronto was going to be out of it for the rest of the game, but they came back to tie it up. And it went to overtime. Tiger Williams took a penalty. Larry Robinson had a big goal in overtime. Williams was going to attack the linesman and referee for being sent off, but Robinson calmed him down. Robinson was always good friends with the Toronto players. But the whole series, again, the end of Roger Neilson. Palmateer didn't play Game 4. He suffered an arm injury. He needed surgery. Paul Harrison came in. He played not too bad. But it was kind of weird. Game 4 was the role players like Lambert and Pat Hughes and Mondu. Although Sagnac and Sittler and other key players scored for them to tie it, you knew it was just a matter of time before Montreal. They were devastating in overtime at the time. They would rarely lose the game in extra minutes. So, majority of the games in the series are available on YouTube through the Leaf Network and the NHL Network. But the interesting to see the old commentator of Bill Hewitt, and that was Bob Cole announcing the game. It would have been a lot more exciting. But the piss-minor approach of the Montreal Canadiens players like Lambert, Mondu, Lemaire, Risebrough, they just basically eat away. And Toronto had a good team last year. They had Ian Turnbull, Lanny McDonald, John Anderson. They had Hutchison. They had a lot of good young players. Sagnac, New Brunswick Hawks. He really impressed a lot of people in that playoff. But it was just a matter of time. Montreal had too much firepower. Now, this was the last good series that Dryden played. He was pretty well sharp against the Rangers. He wasn't sharp, especially in Game 1, where Bowman took him out. And then we're going to start Bunny in Game 2, but Bunny got injured in a warm-up by Risebrough. And what's funny about this, if you look very closely on the tape of Game 4, Scotty Bowman was going to the bucket all the time for ice. But to see the look of Roger Neilson's face, not knowing what the future would bring, it was pretty weird. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing with our Vintage NHL Playoff podcast, let us know with a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, requests are always appreciated. and always, always considered. Thanks for listening. Bye.